You know that feeling when your brain just feels like a web browser with about 50 tabs open?
Hmm.
The fan is whirring, you can't hear yourself think, and you have this sinking suspicion that you're forgetting something really important.
It's the modern condition, isn't it? We are obsessively busy. We're always in motion.
Yeah.
Yet how often do we get to 5:00 p.m., look back at the wreckage of the day and just wonder, what did I actually finish?
Exactly. It's
Hmm.
the difference between motion and progress.
Mm.
And that is exactly why I'm genuinely excited about today's deep dive.
Me too.
We aren't just talking about productivity hacks. We are talking about the real antidote to that chaos. We are talking about planning.
And we're going deep. We've analyzed a comprehensive Planning 101 training course from SkillTex, and it's a beast of a course.
It is.
9 separate lessons. It covers the entire life cycle of getting something done, from, the moment an idea pops into your head to the final review.
So our mission today is pretty simple. We want to move you from being just busy to being effective. So let's start at the beginning. The source defines planning as the process of thinking about and organizing activities required to achieve a desired goal.
And it sounds a bit dry, I know, but you have to look at the two actions there.
Right.
Thinking about and organizing. Most of us skip the thinking. We just jump straight to doing.
An email comes in, you react. A text comes in, you react.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where the stress comes from. SkillTex makes it clear that the benefits are productivity, sure, but the big one is stress reduction. It's about control. It's about agency.
I love that. It's not about doing more work, it's about having less anxiety about the work. But before we organize, we need to know what we're aiming for.
Right. Which brings us to the first major pillar, goal setting. And the source makes a really strong point here. Not all goals are created equal. They compare a vague wish, something like, I want to get in shape, with an actual plan.
Right, I want to get in shape, is basically just a daydream. It feels good to say, but it changes nothing.
Precisely. It provides no direction. So the course brings in the SMART framework.
Okay, I know people roll their eyes when they hear SMART goals.
I know. It's in every corporate seminar on Earth, but there's a reason it sticks around. The nuance really matters.
Okay, let's break it down properly then. S is for specific.
Specific means it's clear, it's well-defined. So instead of get in shape, the source says, I want to lose 10 pounds.
Okay.
That is specific. There is no ambiguity. You either did it or you didn't. It strips away your ability to lie to yourself.
Which leads right into M for measurable.
You have to be able to track it. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. For weight loss, you have a scale. You see the numbers moving. You need that feedback.
Then we have A for achievable. This is the one I find tricky. We're always told to dream big.
It's a valid concern, but the source frames it as being realistic given your current resources. A goal should stretch you for sure, but it has to be within the realm of reality. If it feels impossible, you won't even start.
That makes sense. It prevents that paralysis. Okay, R for relevant.
This is the one I think most people forget. Does this goal actually align with your values, with your long-term objectives? If it doesn't matter to you personally, you won't have the grit to stick with it when it gets hard.
And finally, T for time-bound.
The deadline. In the next 3 months, without a deadline, a goal is just something you'll get to someday.
And someday is not a day of the week.
Never is. The deadline creates focus. It forces you to prioritize.
So we've built our SMART goal. We know where we're going. Now we hit, well, reality, the messy part. The source splits this into time management and task management. I'll admit, I kind of use those interchangeably.
A lot of people do. They're cousins, not twins. Time management is about the container, the bucket of hours you have in a day. Task management is the stuff you put in the container.
Okay, let's talk about the container first. Time. The course had some really specific advice on scheduling.
Yes, it's about energy matching. You identify your most important tasks.
The deep work.
The deep work, exactly. And you slot them into your most productive times of the day.
This is huge for me.
Yeah.
I am useless after 3:00 p.m.
Yeah.
But I always try to do my creative work then because my morning is full of meetings.
And that's the trap. You're burning your best brain power on low-value tasks. You need to flip it. Guard that high-energy time.
And what about distractions? The
Yeah.
course was very strict about that.
Oh, yeah. Social media, email notifications. The advice isn't just try to ignore them. It's turn them off. Set specific windows to check them. You have to protect your flow state.
It's a scary thought, but otherwise my phone is basically my manager.
It is. Okay, so we've guarded our time. Now, task management. Let's say our project is launch a podcast. It feels overwhelming.
Right. Where do you even start?
You start with the WBS. The work breakdown structure. You take that big, scary project and you break it down. You identify the main deliverables. Then you break those down into subtasks.
So Launch Podcast is too big for a to-do list.
Way too big. You can't do a project. You can only do tasks. So Launch Podcast becomes buy equipment, record episode, edit audio.
And then you keep going.
You keep going. Buy equipment is still vague. It becomes research microphones, order headphones. You break it down until the tasks are so small they aren't intimidating anymore.
You turn a mountain into a staircase.
That's the perfect analogy. And to see that staircase visually, the source brings up the Gantt chart.
Now this sounds very technical.
It looks it,
Yeah.
but the concept is simple. It's just a bar chart showing the start and end dates for each task. But what's really important is that it shows you the dependencies.
Dependencies.
What has to happen before something else can.
Yeah.
You look at the chart and you see, oh, I can't edit the audio until I finish recording. It stops you from getting stuck.
It's like building Legos. You can't put the roof on before the walls. And for those of us not using graph paper, the source mentions some tools.
Yes, things like Trello and Asana, they're fantastic. They basically digitize the WBS and the Gantt chart for you. They get it all out of your head and onto a screen.
Okay, so this is the problem I always run into. I have my Trello board. It has 50 cards on it. And now I'm overwhelmed again because there are just too many of them.
Ah, you have the list, but you lack the filter.
Yes.
And this brings us to prioritization. The source offers a really powerful tool here. It's called the Eisenhower Decision Matrix.
This was honestly my favorite part of the research. Such a simple grid, but it explains everything.
It plots tasks on two axes, importance and urgency. That gives you 4 quadrants.
Okay, let's walk through them. Quadrant 1, important and urgent.
These are the fires, the crises, the deadline is today. You have to do these first. It's reactive mode.
Then quadrant 2, important but not urgent.
And this is the danger zone because it's so easy to ignore. This is exercise, strategic planning, learning a new skill. It matters deeply for your long-term success.
But no one is yelling at you to do it right now, so we put it off.
Always. The source says you must schedule these tasks. If you don't put time in your calendar for quadrant 2, it will never, ever happen. This is where you actually design your life.
Now we have quadrant 3. This one is tricky. Urgent, but not important.
This is the deceptively busy work, the interruptions, most emails. It feels like you need to do it now because it's noisy, but it doesn't actually move you toward your goals.
I think I live in quadrant 3. It feels so productive to clear an inbox.
It gives you a little dopamine hit, but it's empty calories. The advice here, delegate or defer.
And quadrant 4, neither important nor urgent.
Doom scrolling, mindless TV, cat videos. You just eliminate it. Or save it for when you're totally brain dead.
The Eisenhower matrix really exposes where the time goes.
Yeah.
But you mentioned delegating. That's the next big lesson, isn't it?
Yes, scaling yourself through delegation.
Now, I know some people listening might be thinking, well, I don't have a team.
It applies to everyone. You can delegate to a family member, a freelancer, even to technology. Automating a task is a form of delegation. But the source says we usually do it wrong. We just dump the task.
Here, you deal with this. Bye.
Exactly. And then we complain when it's not done right. The source gives 3 pillars to do it well. First, clear definitions. The person has to know exactly what success looks like and when it's due.
You have to paint the picture for them.
Okay.
And the second pillar.
Support and feedback. You have to be available for questions. You can't just disappear. It's more of a mentorship role.
And the third one is recognition.
Absolutely. You have to celebrate their success. It builds their confidence and it develops their skills. Remember, delegation isn't just about freeing up your time. It's about making the people around you better.
Okay, so we are executing, we are prioritizing, we are delegating. But how do we know we aren't just, drifting off course?
Right. You need a dashboard. This is monitoring. The source suggests 3 things. First, milestones.
Like signposts on the highway.
Perfect. Just past the halfway point. Second, KPIs, key performance indicators.
The numbers.
The hard data. If your goal is sales, it's revenue. If it's weight loss, it's the number on the scale. Feelings can lie. Data doesn't.
And third,
Regular reviews. Actually, sitting down maybe weekly to assess what's working and adjusting the plan, because the plan will encounter resistance.
yes, the planning challenges. The source calls out the big 3: procrastination, lack of motivation, and unexpected events.
The unholy trinity of productivity killers.
Okay, let's hit them one by one. First, procrastination. The source has a specific fix.
The fix loops right back to the WBS, breaking tasks down. See, we think procrastination is laziness. It's usually not. It's fear. A task feels too big, too scary, so we avoid it.
So if I'm avoiding writing a report, it's because write report feels like this giant wall.
Exactly. But if you break it down into a tiny 5-minute task like open Word document or write the header, the fear vanishes. You trick your brain into starting.
I love that. Okay, what about lack of motivation? Just that meh feeling.
The fix there is social. Find an accountability partner. It is so much harder to let another person down than to let yourself down.
Hacking your own psychology. And the big one, unexpected events.
The fix is flexibility. A plan is not a rigid contract, it's a structure. When life happens, you don't throw away the plan, you adapt it.
It's about being resilient, not rigid. Which brings us to the final piece of the cycle. We've done the work, the project is over, we're done, right?
Not quite. The final lesson is review and reflection. You have to look back to learn. Otherwise, you're doomed to make the same mistakes again.
And the source suggests using a tool I usually associate with, like corporate boardrooms, the SWOT analysis.
Yes, but applied personally. SWT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
So for that podcast launch, how would that work?
Strengths. What did you do well? I was great at researching. Weaknesses. Where did you struggle? I underestimated how long editing would take. Opportunities. What could you do better next time? Maybe there's a new software. And threats. What got in your way? My internet was unstable.
It takes the emotion out of it. Failure just becomes data.
Exactly. And the source also mentions journaling and asking for external feedback. We all have blind spots.
Okay, let's try to recap this whole journey. It starts with the goal, but a SMART goal.
Then you break that goal down with a work breakdown structure, turning the mountain into stairs.
You visualize it with a Gantt chart. You fit the tasks to your schedule, protecting your best hours for your best work.
And you use the Eisenhower matrix to filter out all the noise and the busy work.
You delegate what you can properly. You monitor your progress with KPIs and milestones.
And when obstacles hit, you use small steps and flexibility to keep moving. And finally, you review it all with a SWOT analysis so the next plan is even better.
That's the entire ecosystem. It's comprehensive.
It is. It covers the why, the how, and the what now.
You know, the source keeps coming back to this idea that planning reduces stress. And for me, that's the biggest takeaway. It's not about being a robot. It's about clearing the mental clutter.
It's about agency. When you plan, you are deciding how your life goes, rather than letting life just happen to you. It's the bridge between wanting something and having it.
So here's our final thought for you to chew on. We talked a lot about structure, schedules, matrices. It sounds very rigid. But the source made a really important point about flexibility.
Right. The plan serves you. You don't serve the plan.
So ask yourself this. Is your current plan, if you have a glass vase or a rubber ball, if you drop it when life gets crazy, and it will, does it shatter? Or does it bounce, allowing you to catch it and keep going?
That's the true test of a good plan. It survives contact with reality.
Thanks for diving deep with us today. Go make your plan, and we'll see you next time.